All right. Welcome back, Chicago Hockey Radio. The Blackhawks take down the New York Rangers in the Garden in New York City 2-1, getting the first win under the Anders Sorensen regime. Justin, my brother, how do you feel after a Blackhawks W?
Hello, we're back, department. I would like to file a claim. Blackhawks hockey. We are so back, baby. Anders Sorensen is 500 as a coach of this team. What a dub today. I think we kind of called this one. I'm going to give ourselves credit here.
Yes.
I mean, on the little pregame show we tried to tend to do on Instagram before these games, on the CHR Instagram. Follow if you're not. We kind of called this one. We said, you know what? If there's one team in this league right now who's probably in a worse spot than us right now morale-wise, it's the New York Rangers. I mean, they just traded their captain. They did extend Sturkin, but I mean, otherwise, I mean, they've lost now 8 of their last 10, including this game. They're in a bad spot right now. They're 14-12-1, and this is a team that many pegged to be a cup contender. that team does not look like a cup contender to me. I'm sure they'll still be in the playoffs, but man, they just got outplayed and outworked by the 2024-2025 last place Chicago Blackhawks. But no longer. I would like to remind the crowd with this win, the Hawks actually move ahead of the Predators. We're tied on points, but we got more wins, so we're really 31st now. So progress, right?
We're not. No. We're not bottom of the league anymore.
That's you're goddamn right. And I also want to glaze you guys too. I think both of you two did a fantastic job in the live stream of this game. Made it very entertaining to listen to in the background. So props to you two there. But no, I think general thesis, the vibes are high and we needed this. I mean, we have 5 straight losses, hadn't won in almost 2 weeks. That Stars game, 2 Wednesdays ago feels like forever ago. Definitely a team that need to win after, firing Luke and with this new coach, and the system looked so much better today. I think we could all agree the Saturday game, we can give that a wash, right? He just took over, had 1 practice with the team. He's had a couple of days now, and you could see the system start to come to fruition. This looked like a different hockey club out there tonight.
Yeah,
more pace, more energy, more offensive zone time, more shots on goal. We outshot a hockey team. We outshot the Rangers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hardly happened this year.
And yeah, to that point, I know the score was only 2-1, but if it weren't for Igor Shesterkin, we could have won that game 4-5-1.
Oh, it could have easily been more.
Yeah. We had some really good opportunities. Something that I want to highlight, I saw you and Tassos, I think, kind of talked about it today on the podcast, but we've been talking about it for the past couple weeks, is really wanting to see Taylor Hall's production increase, as well as Tyler Bertuzzi
as well.
Yeah. How do you feel they played tonight with Hall?
Oh yeah, this is two of their best games as Hawks. I mean, with Hall, he had that hat trick, but he hadn't done much since then. But he has a goal and assist tonight. Beautiful pass in that Bertuzzi goal. You want to see those two connect more. We need more production from that second line, and we got some of that tonight. And then the goal was it was meant to go to Bedard back to Bedsy. It was a beautiful saucer pass by Bedsy to Hall. But then Shesterkin just kind of put into the own net. It would have been a Bedsy goal. But we'll take it. Still got a Bedsy point tonight, so we will take that all day. Hall Bedard connection delivering. So that's the other thing, right? This is a Hawks win and a Bedard point. You can't ask for much more than that. And yeah, 2 points for Taylor Hall. Big game for him. He needed that. Let's see more on a consistent basis. It's good to see a lot of these vets, contribute tonight. We need more of that going forward for sure.
Yeah. And I obviously just streamed that entire game and gave my thoughts the entire time. So I'm gonna most of this post game I'm gonna be asking you how you felt about things.
Yeah, I get to yap. I love yapping.
Yes, please. So yap away. The next thing I would like to go to is, how did you feel that Kevin Korchinski played first game of the season?
He looked so confident out there. He didn't get a point, but he deserved one. He was firing the puck. I'm going to look at the box score now, because I have to think he had close to 5 shots at goal. It felt like he had a ton tonight.
He was only credited 2. But he
definitely had a post. He definitely had a poster crossbar in there.
Yeah.
And maybe missed the net a couple times. But yeah, he looked so much more confident. I think you could already see the benefits of setting him back down to the AHL, get some development time with this coach. By the way, this is another good point to hiring Sorensen, right? A lot of these young guns have been playing with him, not just this season, but in the Ice Hawks system the last few years. It's going to be easier to transition to the NHL because they've already been playing under this guy in this system. So I think that's another benefit to hiring Sorensen. For now, he's, again, like you said, he's probably only going to be here for this year, but let's not be premature there. But I think it's going to be a benefit to guys like Korchinski, who I hope he plays too well during this little stretch here where he forces the Hawks to keep him up here. That's probably not the plan. Like, they probably, once Martinez is back, whenever that is, they're probably going to send him back down. But like, if he continues playing like this, like he looks like this again, and then Al's game gets awarded for a few points there too. Like, I don't know how you could justify setting him down. Like, he looked like an NHL defenseman today. He looked so confident out there. And just having him out there, his speed, just what he brings offensively, which we don't have a lot of that in this blue line. We don't have a lot, especially if Seth Jones out. There's really nobody on this blue line besides, Vlasic, who stepped in that role, but there's really nobody in that blue line who provides that offensive, ability from the back end and the rush. So I think that's what he brings, just super crucial to that aspect. And like, for Korchinski, keep playing to your strengths, keep doing what you do. I want to see him keep getting involved in the offense while he's up here. That doesn't mean you take off in the defensive end, which we saw a few times last year. But I thought he was pretty good from that aspect too. I know he was out there for the shorthanded goal, but I didn't really think that was on him.
No,
to be honest with you.
I didn't really either.
And he even locked down Panarin a few times. Like, he was locking down a lot of these Rangers players out there. He looked really good defensively, which he struggled with that a lot last year. But I think on both ends of the puck, he was great tonight. That was definitely a main takeaway. Korchinski, fantastic first game back with the Hawks. I hope he's here to stay.
Yeah, and I think we both very much so want to see him in the lineup throughout the rest of the season, even if it's not every single game, but just like through bits and pieces, because I think he obviously deserves to be there, because quite frankly, dude, I don't think he was our worst defenseman tonight, not even close. And so moving on,
I think he was one of our best defensemen. I think you can make the case he was our best defenseman tonight.
He looked really good tonight. He was passing the puck well. He defended well, and he was ripping shots when he had the opportunity to do so. He did everything you'd want him to do tonight. However, what'd you think about the Kaiser Crevier situation there?
Yeah, they were kind of weak tonight. We've been saying about Kaiser, I feel like his game's kind of fallen off lately. I've been more impressed about the other young defensemen. I think Nolan Allen had another good game. He's been, pretty consistent for the Hawks. But yeah, Kaiser had a few moments, I would say. Yeah. I know you commented a few times on the show. So again, that's another reason where it's like when Martinez does come back, why not send somebody like that down to Crevier ahead of, Korchinski? I don't think Korchinski should be the first guy you send back down just because he was there most recently, in my opinion. Unless he completely falls off the next game, but I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's going to keep riding that momentum.
Look,
he's a confidence guy.
Yeah, if he can put a couple more games together that were like the ones tonight, there's no way they're going to send him down, in my opinion, at least. I'm
sure Bedard's happy too to have his warm-up routine partner back. I don't know if you noticed, but Bedard always does this thing before games and warm-ups where he taps the glass, right, and does his little spin. He normally does that with Korchinski, but he's been having to do that alone this season, so it's been kind of depressing to watch. But he's got his warm-up guy back, his rookie teammate from last year. So good to see that connection.
And you can tell they like playing together, and they have real chemistry. Because it's like when they were out there on the power play, they're constantly looking for each other. Mm-hmm. There was one play, I think it was in the second, where it was like a cross ice feed from Korchinski straight to Bedard, and it's like I haven't seen anybody find Bedard like that.
And that matters, right? For forwards being able to activate the defense, like Bedard hasn't really had that for most of his Hawks tenure this season. Seth Jones out especially. Sometimes you see it with Vlasic, but that's about it. There's really nobody on this D-core who can really play like that. So that's another big reason, another big key to having Korchinski. It's like having a 4-4 out there. He plays like a 4-4 a lot of times, like a rover. Yeah. So I think that's pretty valuable, what he can provide from that aspect.
Moving on, Mr. Sody Pop, Arvid Soderblom.
Oh, fantastic game. How did I not mention him in the little thesis pregame thing?
Yeah.
He was fantastic. 29 saves on 30 shots. He has an opportunity here. For Mrazek out for a week or two, however long he's out, like we get to see Arvid Soderblom starting goalie for a little bit, carry more of the load, which we kind of been wanting. Obviously, we didn't want Peter to go out to cause that, but I've kind of wanted Sody to get more starts on his belt because I think he deserves it. The way he's been playing this season, he's not had a bad game, and another strong performance tonight. I mean, I don't know, guys. I think this Soderblom might be legit. Like, I don't think this is a fluke. Like he could be our guy.
We might have one with him.
Yeah,
I was just about to say, like, oh, what if he like pops off really hard in this like stretch of games that he's gonna inevitably play because of injuries and stuff, and then like, oh, what if we like trade him for some draft capital or something? But it's like, wait, he's young. What if Arvid Soderblom's legit and just
he's only like what 24, 25 or something. 25. So like he's 25. So like he's young. Like there could be a piece here. Yeah, and it's like, and I think it works out either way because like the way he's playing, like his value is going to be probably higher than it's ever been. So that works out too, right? But I think let's ride Soderblom for a bit, right? And when Peter does come back, like we should share, like it should be more of a 1A, 1B team. They should be sharing the crease, right? I don't think Peter necessarily has to be starting like the bulk of these games and risk getting injured again. So I think with Soderblom, the way he's playing, he deserves more time in the crease for sure.
What were your thoughts on the fourth line? Because no Smith, and so they kind of just
you missed Craig Smith out there. I mean, Joey Anderson. I think we haven't seen him in like weeks, and he wasn't very noticeable tonight. I think the reason, I think you mentioned it on the in the show as well. Like I think the reason Frank Nazar wasn't called up today, which Friedman pondered, is because of Craig Smith being out with the maintenance. I think once he's back, they're gonna send Anderson down since they put on waivers. He cleared, by the way, and then we'll see Frank Nazar up here, whether that's this week or whatever that is. I think I mentioned it in the pregame show. It's a matter of when, not if Frank Nazar is called up. He's the next guy. And I think you put him on this team. All of a sudden, we're even younger. We've got a bunch of our prospects to complement Bedard. He's not an island by himself anymore. We're not just watching a bunch of old unks. We're watching that balance. I've been calling for it. You got to strike a balance, right, between young players and these stopgap vets and this rebuilding team. It doesn't need to be all one way, like too old of a team. So I like getting more of these prospects who are ready, who are NHL ready, where it's not hurting their development, where it's more beneficial for them to be on this club, right? Guys like Frank Nazar. So hopefully we'll see that. I think just seeing Korchinski up here made me more excited for that as well. Like I want to see that, right? So hopefully that'll happen.
Dude, I think tonight was so fun. Like, in a large part of like, yes, we won, and that's great. We haven't won in a while, but I think a big part of that really was Korchinski and how good he looked. It's like it's fun having these young guys up here. Like, if you're going to make me pay $20 a month to watch this shit and we're, kind of tanking again, let us have some fun. Bring up Frank Nazar now. And because, dude, like, if Frank Nazar comes up and he's looking great on the Hawks and Korchinski's looking great and he stays up, you know how even more pissed I'm going to be about the start of the season? Like, you're telling me we could have done this the whole time.
I said it before the season. Like, I think both of those two can play in the Hawks this year, but I understood it. Korchinski had a rough preseason, so I definitely understood with him, having more time, in the AHL. Nazar, I don't know. I didn't really, I understood that move a lot less, and I think especially the way he's been playing in Rockford, like, he's deserving of being in this club. And I think he would inject a ton of offense in this team. I think you throw him in that top six, that second line, right, with Paul and Bertuzzi, you put Nazar between them, like, that's a second line that could cook, right? And we finally have two working top lines. So I do like what I saw. I will say, like, I dogged, having Mikheyev in the first line, but I actually thought he was pretty effective up there. I could kind of see what Sorensen's going for, right? Just a player who can, win puck battles, good on the forecheck, good defensively, who can kind of just, let Bedard do his thing, right? So I'm not saying he should be up there, for an extended period. I don't think that's the case. I'd rather have somebody like Turbo up there, but like, I think that worked good tonight, so I'll give him credit where it's due there. I thought that was a Richardson move, but maybe he was onto something there. I don't know.
Yeah. I don't think it's like a long-term thing,
no.
But I mean, realistically, you do need somebody on that line that's going to be aggressive, down low, retrieving pucks, and that's what he did tonight. He did his job tonight. He found the players he needed to. He'd get the puck to Bedard, and then he'd go straight to the net, and he'd camp out right in front of Igor. So yeah, I was pleased with him tonight. I think he did his job. It would be nice if we could get like another high-end forward that's like. Dude, that's why I always I harp on like guys like Brady Tkachuk. Like, can you imagine having like a stud like that can do that job, but then also produce with your top player? Like, that'd be nice. But
yeah, I think we'll see that in next year's team. That's a problem for next offseason to get that
true.
fish, right?
Yep.
We're gonna cook in the draft again as well. Like, I think Sorensen, like, we're gonna be better, right? I think we're gonna win more games, get more points, but this team is still the same, like, for the most part, roster wise. I don't even think calling up guys like Nazar, Korchinski, it's not gonna ruin the tank. Like, we're still gonna get that top 5 pick and all that. So there's nothing to worry about there. And it's like, on the bright side, we're having a more fun team to watch here. Like, I enjoyed watching this game. This was an entertaining hockey game. Like, the system was clearly different. The Hawks are more involved offensively, like I said, and it was good to see him get involved in the rush, the D-man getting involved in the rush and the offense, not being so conservative all the time under Richardson, not having these forward lines who are afraid to, get involved in the offensive zone, right? Not just about, sitting back, which I don't think they did too much of that tonight, right? I thought they stayed aggressive for the most part. Like, the second period, the end of that second period, like, man, like, they had the Rangers hemmed in there. I mean, it's been a few games this season where the Hawks have dominated team possession wise. I know it wasn't for the whole game, right? There were points to the Rangers at the start and the finish of the game where they were clearly, I was getting a little nervous, like, we're going to tie this one up and go to overtime. But there are also portions of this game, like, the Hawks were generally all over them, and we haven't seen that a lot this season.
Yeah, I agree with you. And dude, this is all we're asking for. Like, this tonight
effort,
was a fun
energy,
because it was effort and energy, and it actually felt like we were trying to score goals, which you can't say has been the case all season. Like,
if Shesterkin's not in net, we score more than 2 goals tonight.
Yeah. We were aggressive and we were going for it, and that's really all that's what we were looking for. So successful night, in my opinion. Were you about to say something?
I would say one negative thing. It was only twice, but the power play was not good tonight.
No,
0 for 2, and they did let in that shorthanded goal at the end of the first. So yeah, that was one negative. The penalty kill was great, 2 for 2, so that's a positive. The penalty kill has always been a positive. The power play for the Hawks, we know, has always been inconsistent. But apparently, I think it's like top 11 in the league. I'm not sure how it's possible, but it is. I saw the stats show up. So unless CHSM was wrong about that, apparently we have a top 16 power play in the league, a top half. But yeah, that was a bit rough, but that's probably the only real negative spot.
And it wasn't even that bad. Like, the shorthanded goal sucked, but like,
the second one was better.
The second one we were cycling it a little bit. I think I'd just like to see more shots. Like, Raven and I were talking about it. Like, I'd like to see Bedard just rip some shots. Like, Raven was like asking, why doesn't he shoot more from? And it's like, I would love to see Bedard shooting more, even if it's like from the point, even if there's traffic, just like, if the cycle's not where, if you're moving the puck around a few times and you're not finding any good looks, just let Bedard fucking rip one,
I'm checking the box score right now. Bedard had 1 shot and goal. So it's like, yeah, fire the puck more, Betsy. But like otherwise, I thought he had a good game, right? I thought, yeah, he was dishing and playmaking out there and got a point. So good to see that. I got some looks. So no, I think he's going to keep cooking here, and that's good to see. And just getting more contributions from the rest of the lineup too, for sure.
Yeah, overall, good game. Fun to watch. Thankfully, got the win. Got my first win on the stream.
That's right. What is this? The fourth time's a charm, I believe.
Yeah. So I'm 1-2.
There you go.
I'm 1-2-1. Pretty similar record to like the Blackhawks, honestly.
And you're doing the Thursday game too, right?
I'm doing the Thursday game and another winnable game against the Islanders, you know?
Yeah, there's no reason the Hawks can't sweep New York. I mean, this Islanders team, we talked about how much this Rangers team's been struggling. That Islanders team is just not good.
No.
And it's probably the boringest team in hockey to watch, by the way. I think watching paint dry is more entertaining in that game. And you could get the overtime, at least if you get the overtime against them, like you win the game because they've lost like 7 times in overtime and shootouts. So because that's just the way they play, right? They're just trying to rack up those loser points, but it's not working out for them as hot this year because they just can't win hockey games. They have like 11 wins. But they've lost like 18 times. So, but they have points because they keep going the extra time. But anyway, Islanders game, very winnable. The Hawks have only won consecutive games once all season. Once. That was 2. And we haven't won 3 consecutive games since February 2023. So it would be nice, if the Hawks have said it after every game we've won, which hasn't happened often. It would be nice the Hawks to go on a bit of a streak here, a little bit of a run. Let's carry this momentum going. Like there's no reason we can't win Thursday. And I mean the next one's gonna be tougher because I think Saturday is the Devils. So that'll be tricky. But let's win Thursday. Why not? We got 2 days here. To decompress here, learn the system more. Hopefully we'll see Frank Dayazar Thursday. Maybe that's wishful thinking, but hopefully we see that.
I do want to chirp in just because we got a really cool comment. Custo Hockey says, "Hey guys, I'm a freelancer at the game tonight. Word going around is Lavalette is out, and expect Woodcroft announcement tomorrow. Bye for now."
Woodcroft. No.
Shit.
I was kind of.
Let's keep an eye out on that stuff.
I did say on stream.
I'm not. That's actually one thing I meant to. I don't know how I forgot to bring that up, but yeah, Lavalette. I mean, after this game, I mean, is that official? Is that's just the word or whatever rumor?
That's just rumor coming from.
Okay, but yeah, I mean that feels like a last straw type of game. Which, by the way, it'd be very funny if Lavalette was fired tomorrow. Because if you recall, last season for the New York Islanders, who were facing on Thursday, when we beat them in January, their then coach was fired as well, and that's what brought Patrick Raw in. That coach was so relevant, I can't remember his name, but yeah, Raw is coaching the Islanders now. So it'd be pretty funny if the Hawks got 2 New York hockey coaches fired within a year. So we'll see if that happens, but it would not shock me in the slightest. I think Lee, like you said, he brought up as a possibility in the live stream. So we'll see what happens in that regard. Because that Rangers team's got issues right now.
Yeah. I said, mark my word, if we lose this game, you're going to have to clip this and remember that I said this. So that would be really interesting. Also, something that we're going to have to clip is if we fucking lose on Thursday in overtime, we are clipping that rant that you just had about Islanders and losing. Well,
Barzell's out too, so like who's going to score for them? Like Anders Lee, Brock Nelson, like I don't know. Like they don't have guys who can, put the puck in the net.
Yeah, no, I agree. It would just be very good content for the Instagram page if we somehow lost in overtime and we get a lot of Islanders fans maybe pretty angry at you.
Bring it on, but yeah, getting back into this like Rangers team, just their woes. Like very few people in that team have produced the way they did last season. Like a lot of these guys are aggressive. Like Zibanejad, he deserves a secondary assist in that first Hawks goal. I mean, he basically just gave the puck, to Hall, who dished Bertuzzi. That was like, what the hell was that? Even strength, he's useless. Like he just gets all his production in the power play this season. That's what he does. And Will Cooley had their only goal. Apparently, he's like 3rd in the team in points. I know he's a good player, but like that shows you how bad a lot of other players are producing when he's like one of your leading points producers. But yeah,
and they have to pay him next year, which is going to be a problem. But to go back to that Zibanejad thing where he gave the puck away, funny. He gave the puck away, and then he was also sleeping on the backdoor pass.
Yeah, that
too. It was not paying attention, and Bertuzzi just had a wide open net. So yeah, I think Rangers fans are not pumped about him or Chris Kreider. their play is
Trout's a ghost tonight.
I mean, because they're always playing together, and so it seems like one goes, the other goes too, and yeah, their level of play is completely fallen off a cliff, and I think those two are largely responsible for the lack of success New York's having right now. And it looks like their coach is going to get fired, and management is they just moved Trouba, so it looks like they're going to really try to shake that team up to maybe salvage the season. But
if that is the case, that would be the third coach fired of the season. First coach who's not coaching one of the Winter Classic teams. So yeah, I mean, it just shows how short of a leash you have in hockey now if you're an NHL coach, right? But yeah, also Artemi Panarin, Blackhawks legend. I assumed he'd get on the board tonight because every time he plays the Hawks, he always kills us, but he did not. He was shut down, so that was good to see. I think he had a bit of a run going, points against the Hawks. So good to see us finally stop that. I do miss him a lot. I think that 2017 sweep against the Preds. We could spend a whole episode, ranting about how Stan Bowman's 2017 offseason, led to where we are now. But maybe everything happens for a reason because we wouldn't have Bedsy, we wouldn't have Pookie. So, we are where we are, but I think the future is it's good to remind people. I think today's a good reminder. The future is still very bright. It's only up from here, and definitely a much needed win for sure.
Yeah, and I was doing a little bit of prospect talk.
So we talk about cancer out a lot.
We're gonna Jesse and I will make like a video or something when he's here, and we'll do some longer content on prospect talk.
I like that. We like talking about prospects.
We love that. We both. I
know Tassos doesn't always love when we talk about prospects a lot. But yeah.
Yeah, we'll just like hide in like a separate room here and just film an entire video of prospect talk. Well, Tassos is getting angry with Craig Smith, and
that sounds like a plan. I like that plan. Also, another thing I want to bring up, you were talking about a lot in the live stream, but the shutdown line of Foligno Dickinson did a fantastic job. I mean, they're so strong in the trenches, as you like to say, like those little down low board battles. Like they had the Rangers hemmed in their zone a few times, just killing time, right?
Every time they were out there.
So they were fantastic in that regard. Those two are always great at PK as well. So I love having them. Love seeing those two veterans cook. The Uggs still got it. The Uggs were showing out tonight, not just the young guns. So it's good to see when they're both producing, right?
Dude, think about it. I mean, you put Frank Nazar on this second line. Whatever the combination with him is, you figure out this Bedard thing. You get Bedard going a little bit on the first line, and then you got that solid fourth line that already has built the chemistry this season with Reichel, Smith, and Maroon. And then you got the Unk line on the third line, just being absolute gangsters in the trenches. All of a sudden, this team might put together
a fun team.
It's going to be a pretty good team.
No matter what the record is, it's going to be more fun to watch. And I do think it would, get more production. I think it would inspire much more, energy into a team that needs it, into a fan base that needs it, right? I think there's a fan base that, yes, I think we should be patient, but I think it's, it's fair for people to want a more watchable product, especially when a lot of people, the CHSN stuff have a hard time watching it. So I think, it's striking that balance, having more young guns, a future on this team to watch, to look forward to. I think it'll be a much more entertaining team to cover for sure for us.
That's funny. In the trenches, he says, while wearing aviators. I don't even know what that means. That's so good. Korchinski played a
look like Tom Cruise out here.
I can't say enough good things about Korchinski tonight.
He was great.
That was really probably my highlight of the night, was just this guy finally getting to come up and looking really good. Because I had heard some people, because I haven't watched much, I don't know about you, but I haven't watched much Rockford games. And
I've actually watched quite a bit, yeah.
I've heard that he hasn't been super solid defensively, but it's
up and down.
But tonight he looked so solid.
He was good.
He looked so solid, and he looked good enough to stay on this team.
He looked as good pretty much any game last season with the Hawks. So yeah, I mean, I hope he stays up here. I think he's deserving, and just nice to have another young player besides Bedard to watch, who's actually a Kyle Davidson drafted player, right? Another reason why it'd be nice to see Nazar up here. All of a sudden, we've had three players on this team with a big, part of this core that Davidson is drafted. So, it's not just Bedsy, right? I'm always talking about Bedsy all the time. It's like, who all of a sudden on this team do you want me to talk about? They're all going to be gone, right? Yeah, so it's good to have other pieces here, to complement him, right?
Other true, as we say, real Blackhawks players.
Yes,
and that's what they are. I couldn't agree with you more. Do you have any other takeaways? Any other things you needed to get off your chest?
I I like that our shot count from period to period was pretty consistent. You know, look at the 9 the first, 13 the second, 10 the third. But a lot of games this year, it's like we've either had a good start, a sloppy finish, or a bad, a good first period, good third, and a lousy second. I think we were pretty consistent from period to period tonight. That's something I wanted to see under Sorensen, right? More consistency. I think we saw that tonight. I think you could see some of his, how much they have to do with him. It might not have had a lot. It may have had a lot to do with the Rangers being asked, but I think you could kind of already see some of the benefits of this guy and the kind of new system he brings. Maybe if a lot of it's the players too, right? They know they need to bounce back after that pathetic performance on Saturday, and I think they showed it tonight. I think they played with fire, with energy, with passion, with intensity. The Hawks play a purpose tonight. That's what I want to see. I want to see. I won't complain about even if we lost this game. Like I thought this was a good one. I wouldn't have complained about that as much because that's the way we should be playing this year.
100%. And even if it's a collection of those things you just said, if Sorensen can get them to keep putting the same effort and the same type of performances in, I'm good with it.
100%. Totally agree.
I did want to chime in and ask both of you, was the success partially due to how physical these guys were? Like the hit.
The Hawks were noticeably physical, more physical tonight.
We were really physical tonight.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Like especially at the end of the second, like Hawks were sending Rangers everywhere, man. We were all over them. Like it was literally looking like a World War I Trent situation out there, which is good to see. Good to see more of that. We have a lot of guys on this team who could do that, so it's like we should be seeing more of that from like especially those unks, right?
Yeah, and I feel like the physicality thing a lot of times is an effort issue. It's like, are you finishing your check? And a lot of times throughout the season, we haven't had that effort. So if he can keep them playing at this level, it's going to be good to see. And yeah, I think the physicality should be part of the game because we've got a bunch of old, really big guys. So we should run over, and our defense is massive too. So yeah, I think if you finish your checks and you play with effort, good things are going to happen.
Oh, totally agree. I think the Hawks were due for a game like this. I think we all needed this very badly, right?
We did.
So good to see. I don't think I really have much else to say.
Awesome.
And, we'll have much more to say in the podcast Wednesday. We'll be there.
Absolutely. They'll be back Wednesday morning. I'm not gonna be on for that, unfortunately, because I have work. But I will be back for the live stream on Thursday. Everybody, if you're still watching, give us a follow on Instagram at Chicago Hockey Radio. Subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. Hit the notification bell so you know when we go live, because we do a lot of the podcasts live, and then we obviously do all the post games and the live streams live. So appreciate everybody hanging out tonight and showing us love. Do you have anything?
I got one more thing to say.
Yeah.
I will say though, I don't love the prospect of the Hawks having 2 straight off days here in New York City, with nothing to do.
Yeah,
hopefully they have some practice time there. It's not very safe this time of year. So Hawks bond together, stick together, and for
don't
sure.
Don't go outside any hotels.
Yeah, no, for sure. But otherwise, totally.
The Ravens closing us out.
Yeah.